Good afternoon and welcome, sports fans, to Full Count, SportsMemo's MLB betting coverage show, coming to you live every weekday, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be covering baseball with some of the best handicappers, analysts, columnists, and sports bettors on the planet. We're going to be giving out free picks on several games for today's card and plenty of time for you to take advantage of those free picks. I'm your host, world champion handicapper, Las Vegas's biggest daily sports bettor, Joe D'Amico. Joining me today, we got an all-star Monday cast. Guys, we got the hardest working man in sports betting, Mr. John Ryan, and one of the best leaderboard fixtures there is, Ronald Cabang. Happy Monday, John. Happy Monday, Ronald. How are you today, John? How you doing today, guys?
I'm doing well. How about you, Joe? You sound a little hoarse there.
You know, John, I think somebody's getting their Christmas wish in June. Joe D'Amico is losing his voice. But what can you do? I work almost as hard as you do, John. And unfortunately, some of the things that we have to do is go through a little hoarseness when we work so hard. But like I said, somebody's getting their Christmas wish early. I will tell you this. We did the first family show today. Some of the comments were very positive. A lot of the guys out there watching the show thought I sounded very sexy. So that's a plus. I'm very excited about that. My friends, we have a few items we'd like to tell you about before we get into our roundtable segment, in which both John and Ronald will be giving out their points, their angles on 3 different roundtable games. Then, of course, we're going to do our best bet segment at the end of the show. But 2 items before we start giving out free winners for today's card. First, we need your help. SportsMemo is so close to 5,000 subscribers here on YouTube. We need you to click that subscribe button. We want to hit those 5,000 subscribers yesterday, so we need your help today. Please help us hit that subscribe button. Let us hit that 5,000 mark milestone. And secondly, guys, it's never too early to save you money. Football's right around the corner. We have the most inexpensive college and pro football combo package there will ever be. $7.99. You see it going across the bottom of your screen. On top of that, as if that wasn't enough, you get a chance at a whole ton of wager bucks. Use code football100 on checkout. Now, if you want to dip your toe before you dive into the football waters, SportsMemo's got you covered for that too. We have a huge discount on preseason football for the dozen or so cappers at SportsMemo that cover preseason football. Guys, the customer appreciation you receive from SportsMemo is unrivaled. All we ask, come on over. We got some great things. Today's $9 Monday. You'll be seeing some things flash across the screen on that. Tomorrow's $2 Tuesday. Wednesday, we got spin and win Wednesday. Every day of the week, we got something special just for you. We want to show you how much we love you. And to do that today, we got the murderer's row of baseball cappers, John Ryan and Ronald Cabang. We're going to be covering 3 roundtable games. Now, the first of which is a battle for American League Central supremacy. We're talking the Twins at the Guardians currently. Minnesota, $1.25, a total of 8 flat. That total just changed. We're going to go to John Ryan for his take on the Twins Guardians. John, take it away.
Thank you, Joe. One question for you. I don't want to affect your voice, though, but do you know who the number 3 team in the American League is right now, record-wise? Being a Yankee fan, you should know this.
Well, I'll tell you this. The only stat I check every day is if the Red Sox lose and if the Yankees win. But tell us who the number 3 team is in the AL, John.
It is the Boston Red Sox, and they are flying extremely under the radar. But this game is about the Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Guardians, who the Boston Red Sox beat up pretty well over the weekend. However, the Cleveland is playing much better than expectations. They have a payroll the second lowest in the majors. Their cost per win is probably a tenth of what that is of the Yankees, and certainly probably about a fifth of that amount, like 0.05 of that for the Phillies wins. So the Phillies payroll is probably the worst in Major League Baseball. Cleveland is by far the best in dollars spent per win. And I like that. I kind of like the money ball, low market area teams that are starting to do well against the Giants. So they're second in the American League Central. Minnesota's first in the American League Central. I think Minnesota is another team that's sneaky good. They go through these periods where they don't play all that well, but then you look at their record, and Sonny Gray's on the hill tonight, 3-1, ERA's 2.53. They are 8 games over 500. Their over-unders are perfectly even, 34, 34, and 6. On the road, they are 18 and 16, winning record there. As a favorite, they are 41 and 33. At home, the Guardians are 16 and 13. As a dog, they're 16 and 22. The line for this game, as you said, is Cleveland is a modest favorite at home. I do like the Cleveland Guardians here with Triston McKenzie on the hill. And what else can I tell you here real quick with this game? We have, just let me get my little sheet up here quick. We have, I don't have, wait. Here we go. Yeah, crazy, isn't it? Sometimes you think you're just perfectly prepared and then it's not there. But in terms of the fundamentals here with this game, the edge certainly goes to Minnesota based on the flash stats, but runs per game, Cleveland's averaging 4.529, which is 11th in the league. That's countered by the fact that Minnesota does well defensively. They rank them 9th in Major League Baseball, allowing 4 runs per game. Run differential per game goes basically even between the two teams. Batting average is 10th by Cleveland at 250, 251 for Minnesota. So you're getting, I think, the better pitcher here. I like teams, Joe and Ronald, that don't hit home runs per game with this stupid launch angle era that we're in. And if they would learn to hit opposite field and behind the runner, which is what the Guardians do, they would score a lot more runs. The Guardians rank 27th, hitting .794 home runs per game. Minnesota's 1.122, ranking 13th in home runs per game. I'm going to take the fundamentally sound Cleveland Guardians here, and the guys that are, not getting paid tens of millions of dollars here to come through tonight and in this series.
Sports fans, the best technical analyst and the hardest working man in sports betting, John Ryan, who's all over the SportsMemo leaderboards, says he likes the Guardians tonight. John, as usual, another great breakdown. And let me tell you, you at 50% prepared is still better than anybody else at 100%. I'll put you up against anybody halfway against them all the way. John, it's a great breakdown. Sports fans, John's doing great work. He's all over the SportsMemo leaderboards in multiple sports. Go follow him after the show. Take advantage of some of those great customer appreciation discounts. We're going to go from John Ryan, who is a perennial leaderboard fixture, to another perennial leaderboard fixture. And he's one of the most eclectic guys on the SportsMemo slate. I love him. You love him. We're glad to have him back. He was a little under the weather last week. He's back. Ronald Cabang is going to give you his breakdown. Twins, Guardians, Minnesota, 125, a total of 8. Ronald Cabang, take it away. I think we're having an audio problem, Ronald.
Oh, that's me. Sorry, I had myself on mute there. These two teams starters just faced each other 5 days ago. From a starter perspective, Sonny Gray has been solid throughout the season, but he's coming off his worst start of the season where he gave up 4 runs and 3 earned runs against the Guardians just 5 days ago. I think he bounces back here, pitches well against these guys in this specific outing. Teams are averaging 2 runs in the first 5 innings against Sonny Gray, when his previous start against them was a non-quality start. So that's where we are here in this spot for Sonny Gray today. And Triston McKenzie's numbers has regressed in his last 3 starts, but he's at home where he's pitched very well this season, 3-0 with a sub-3 ERA at home. Teams are averaging just 1.67 in those first 5 innings in those games. He's also coming off a bad start where he had allowed 6 earned runs against the Twins 5 days ago. Teams are averaging just 0.67. That's under a run per game in the first 5 innings. In the first 5 innings against McKenzie, when his previous start against them was a non-quality start. So to me, I'm looking at both starting pitchers to bounce back off of bad outings. First 5 under here is my look.
Sports fans, Ronald Cabang says first 5 under. And his first show back after a small hiatus. He's doing some great stuff. Ronald, great breakdown as usual. We appreciate you coming back and starting off the week with us. Great breakdown. Guys, today's Monday. That means $9 Monday. There's some great deals on the board from some of the best cappers on the planet. Ronald's got some big winners up there over at SportsMemo. Guys, don't go anywhere. We only did for our first of 3 rounds of our roundtable games. Our second roundtable game, my friends, it's a matchup between 2 third-place teams looking to better their situation situations before the All-Star break as we go to the White Sox and Angels. Los Angeles currently $1.40, 8.5 over, minus $1.20. Let's go back to the hardest working man in sports betting. John Ryan, give us your take. White Sox Angels.
Well, this is a very intriguing matchup. The White Sox were supposed to be the dominant force in the AL Central. Before the season started, most of the prognostications were indicating that this was already a foregone conclusion, that they would win as a division champion and enter the playoffs quite easily. That is not the case right now with them. And for this first 70-some games of the year, I've had trouble, wondering who their identity really is. They show signs of playing very, very well and that team that we expected preseason. And then they play, almost like some of those teams that are out west. I won't name any names. I don't like putting the Oakland A's down because I do like them quite a bit. Anyway, the Chicago White Sox are 3 games under 500. They have Lucas Giolito on the hill tonight. 4-4 ERA, 5.40. But guys, his ERA over the last couple starts is up near the moon. And the Angels are a team that on my models, and I rely a lot on my predictive models, they have, like the Phillies were before that win streak, like the Braves were before that win streak, vastly underrated. And you can say what you want about them. They lost 14 games. They stink. They fired their manager. Mike Trout, is that, or, they can't win a game because they only have 2 real players. I think Noah Syndergaard is going to do a really good job tonight. I like the Angels in this matchup quite a bit. I would even play a prop bet for Trout to hit a home run in this matchup because Giolito's current form is horrid. That's HORRID, spells horrid. That's worse than terrible, and it's worse than miserable. So I like the Angels here. I also like the team total, and I'll be back later in the show with a best bet on this same game.
Sports fans, he is a winner. Let me tell you this. HORID may spell horrid, but JOHNRYAN spelled WINNER. Spells winner over at SportsMemo. I love him. You love him. He's doing great work over at SportsMemo. He says the Angels and a prop bet on Trout to probably hit a home run, guys. He is the king of these prop bets. Let's go on over to Ronald Cabang. See his angle on the White Sox Angels. Ronald, LA, $1.40, 8.5 over, minus 120. Please give us your take, Ronald.
Yeah, I definitely agree with John Ryan there. I love his breakdown there. Giolito usually, like John mentioned, the White Sox were supposed to be the top, the leaderboard over there in that division, and Giolito was supposed to be one of their top starting pitchers. And he's usually a household name, but he's struggling this year. 4-8 this season. His ERA and FIP is above 5. To John's note too, with that home run, Giolito's given up at least one home run in 9 of his last 10 starts. He's also given up multiple home runs in 6 of his last 10. So I can definitely see home runs being hit by the Angels here because the Angels hit their home runs mainly at home against starting righties. On the opposite side, Angels, Syndergaard on the mound. Angels have lost the last 3 games he's been on the mound, but it really had to do with the lack of run support here in those games. But I think they can touch up Giolito here in this one. Syndergaard has pitched very well at home, sub 2.5 ERA in 6 starts. I think as long as the Angels can get a couple runs early on Giolito, I trust Syndergaard to do enough to limit the White Sox early. I think the play for me would be the Angels first 5 money line.
Sports fans, Ronald Cabang says Angels first 5 money line. Great breakdown, Ronald. Thank you. It's great stuff, Ronald, and great minds think alike, at least on this game. Now, guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to our third of 3 roundtable games. Now, our third roundtable game, I want to tell you, I think we've learned, particularly here on the MLB coverage show, that just because 2 teams aren't marquee teams, that there aren't gold in them, there are hills. And John Ryan and I have talked about this quite a few times this season, that there are some of these, I don't say lesser teams, but lesser teams and lesser matchups, and you can still find gold in them hills. So our third of 3 roundtable games are the Orioles at Mariners. Currently, my friends, we're looking at the Orioles at Mariners, Seattle, $1.50, 7.5 over, minus 120. Now, when we see totals like 7.5, and teams that aren't strong hitting teams, they're begging us to take the over here. I'm interested to see your take on this game, and perhaps because I know you're going to chime in on the total too, because you always like to chime in at extremely low or extremely high totals. John Ryan, take it away. Baltimore, Seattle, take it away, buddy.
You're absolutely right, JD. The lean would be initially, boy, at 7.5 with these two teams. I'm betting the over, but I will give it away. One of my 3-pack premium picks, it's available over at SportsMemo right now, is a 4% play under the posted total of this game. I like this game playing way under the total. So with that said, Baltimore comes into this game 34-40. And you know what? They play in that American League East division, which should be a league by itself. That should be just a separate league because they're all pretty good. You put Baltimore in the AL Central, they might be 500. They might be a few games over 500. In fact, this year, it took them fewer games to get to 30 wins, which was 69 is officially what they did. It was 30 wins and 39 losses at the time. So they've gone 4-1 since then. But there was 2 seasons in the past 5 years where it took them over 100 games to win 30. That's how bad Baltimore used to be. The key word is used to be. So if you think Baltimore is that typical Baltimore team that, loses to everybody and they're just god awful, you better change that motif right now if you plan on keeping the money that's in your pocket. This team against the Seattle Mariners, Seattle is a very challenged offensive team. However, they have a good pitching matchup going tonight with George Kirby on the hill. And I have a few stats about Tyler Wells as well. Let's see, with just 1 second here. With Kirby, let's start with George Kirby here. He's making his 10th start tonight. He's 2-2 on the season with a 3.12 ERA, 1.122 WHIP. And by the way, the WHIP doesn't mean anything more than control. He's throwing strikes, and the lower that WHIP is, which stands for walks and hits per innings pitched, the better the pitcher becomes. I actually put more emphasis into the weighting on the models with WHIP than I do ERA. ERA really doesn't mean what it used to mean back in like the 1990s, before we had all these Moneyball type of advanced metrics. So fielder independent pitching, the FIP, as Dr. Chuck likes to call it, that to me means a lot more than just simply looking at a person's or a starter's ERA. At any rate, he's only walked, he's walked 3 batters and struck out 16 in his last 3 starts for a 2.65 ERA and a 1.17 WHIP. So he's in even better form than he was earlier this year. Tyler Wells, he might be a name you don't know, but if you watch the game tonight, you'll remember him because he has a 3.34 ERA, 5-4 in the season, making his 15th start of the year. Garrett Cole leads the majors with 15 starts. So this kid is pitching a lot of innings and doing quite well. 2.2 ERA, last 3 starts, 1.176. And then you look at the bullpens, and I won't get into the numbers because of time. Otherwise, this will be a 2-hour show. But this game has underwritten all over. And as Joe D said, that 7.5 is making everybody want to go to the over. But this is, I think, a very strong opportunity. It's a 4% best bet premium play under the total.
Great stuff, John Ryan. As usual, it's what we come to expect of you. John, are you trying to say that today's pitching is different than, let's say, the Baltimore Orioles 1971 pitching staff that sported 4 20-game winners? You remember that staff, don't you?
I do. They had 4 guys win 20 games. And it's the last time, and probably the last time in the next 1,000 years that will ever happen again. In fact, it may never happen again.
Probably not.
But that was... Those were 4 horses.
Absolutely.
And the one I can never, what was his name? Not Quasar. It was
Bueller.
Yeah. Yep.
Mike Bueller. Yeah. Jim Palmer. Jim Palmer was about the most known. They had McNally. They had Palmer. They had Dobson. And guys, man, the 3 guys, everybody remembers Jim Palmer and the other 3 guys, but all 4 guys were monsters and they really pitched well. John, you brought up the American League East. Now, there are divisions in baseball right now that sport one winning team. The American League East has 4 winning teams, and the last place team, the Baltimore Orioles, you mentioned, could be a 500 or better team in other divisions. It's just so hard to really imagine, not that, but how good this American League East is, John, because they play each other, 18 times throughout the season?
Right.
So they're beating each other up. They're splitting wins and losses, but they're killing every other division. That's how strong this American League East is. And I'll tell you what, we always talk about the Yankees. I'm a Yankee fan, but there's a lot of baseball to be played, and I do expect us to see at least 1 or 2 more guys, 2 more teams slide into that first place slot in the American League East before the end of the season. Great breakdown, John, as usual. Says the under. Great breakdown as usual. Ronald Cabang is going to chime in. Orioles. I'm sorry, Ronald. I'm struggling.
That's all good.
I know I sound sexy. I know I sound sexy, but that voice is going. My wife is down the hall laughing at me. Ronald, Orioles and Mariners, Seattle 157.5 over. I want to see if you have a take on this total as well. Take it away, Ronald, please.
Yeah, I think John really covered a lot of the topics I was going to cover. So anything that I could add really is just I agree with the under, but one way that I was looking at it also was towards the first 5 run line for the Orioles. I know Tyler Wells didn't really start out the season strong, but he's won his last 3 starts with an ERA just over 2. Kirby has pitched 4 home games so far this season, and they either lost or only won by a single run in each of those games. I think those games that they won to were against lesser opponents, and like you said, the Orioles in a different division would be a 500 team or even better. And so I think Orioles don't get enough credit for how good they actually are. In this spot here, I do think that the Orioles should be able to keep up with the Mariners here, whether it's a tie after the first 5, or the Orioles actually have the lead. So to me, first 5 plus a half run and -110 is probably a good look.
Ronald Cabang says first 5, take the Orioles on the run line. Great stuff, Ronald. As usual, Ronald, maybe we should start putting you ahead of John Ryan, so you should get in some of your angles up first.
No, it's okay.
I'm kidding. We like that fun. Having an all-star cast like John Ryan and Ronald Cabang, guys, I'm going to tell you, whether you are a novice or an advanced sports bettor, we have something that's tailor-made just for you, because John and Ryan are 2 of the best at breaking down games, and they're certainly 2 of the best at making you money. Just look at the numbers at SportsMemo. Numbers don't lie. I used to tell people I was 5'10" when I had hair. Now I have no hair. I'm only 5'6". So we can't lie about certain things, and the numbers at SportsMemo don't lie. Go over, follow John, follow Ronald. But guys, don't go anywhere. The most exciting portion of our show, the best bets and best bet segment, is coming up, and I am interested to see what John and Ronald have for you as our best bet segments. So without any further ado, guys, John Ryan is doing great work at SportsMemo. He has some very exciting things on the premium side tonight. He's going to tell you about what he's got going on the premium side. He's also going to tell you another free winner on his best bet segment. John, take it away.
Thanks, JD. To tell you the truth, I like going second on these shows, especially when Jesse Scholl goes first. And if you don't know what I mean, then you got to watch the show that we're both on. We've become friendly rivals, and it's just a lot of fun, a lot of banter. But it is fun to go first as well. I finished the NHL playoffs number 1 over at SportsMemo. Had a terrific playoff season. Lost last night. I was hoping for Game 7, but nevertheless finished pretty strong. It was a 23-8 finish to the or complete NHL playoff record. And since January 1, I was number 1 in NHL as well. Ronald Cabang, he was number 1 last year in the NBA. I was number 1 this year in the NBA, full season. So next year on our triple double show together, we should have some really, really good fun with the back-to-back champions at SportsMemo on that show. Also, I have a 3-pack of plays, one of which you just got with the 4% premium play under the total in the Baltimore Orioles game. And a WNBA play I have going as well, which I like quite a bit. And that's one of the 2 games on tap tonight. And best of all, you get all our plays for just $9 today. Since it is $9 Monday and tomorrow is $2 Tuesday, There'll be 3 of the best at sportsmemo.com. Get their packages for $2. Sometimes the guys put out 3 packs, which I can't even divide 3 by 2, but it's less than $1, right? So that is quite the deal. Anyway, my free bet today is going to be over the total in the Angels game against. My notes are just terrible today. The White Sox. How can I forget the White Sox? White Sox are batting 175 over their last 10 games, and La Russa, in his coaching career, which obviously includes several teams, including the Cardinals, but he is outstanding. They over after a 10-game period of his teams batting 175 or worse is right around 65% winners, and that's just on the blind. So even though La Russa doesn't necessarily know the rules of baseball and the extra inning thing and all that stuff, he's picking up he's on a big learning curve, and I think his team is going to come out whaling tonight. Even though it's Syndergaard on the hill, which I mentioned earlier, I could see the White Sox putting up 5 runs on their own, but I also can see the Angels just exploding in this game for just a big double-digit output. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Angels score over the posted total on their own merit. So therefore, I also like a 1% bet on the over team total Angels. A betting system real quick, play over with road teams with a total of 8.5 to 10. With a team like the Chicago White Sox with a horrid slugging percentage of under 400%, and batting 165 or worse over the last 3 games, going up against a very good control-type pitcher like Noah Syndergaard with a whip of 1.300 or lower on the season. That set of parameters, 40 and 12 over the last 25 Major League Baseball seasons. That comes out to 76% winning bets. So I am big time on the over in this game, and 1%, kind of like pizza money bet on the over team total Angels.
Sports friends, John Ryan says White Sox Angels over. And John, don't feel bad if you forgot about the Chicago White Sox. There's people that live in Chicago that forgot they have any baseball teams whatsoever in the Chi-Town area. They're already talking Bears football, so don't feel bad. I forgot that they got any teams there, American League or National League. I figured they moved up to Canada or something. Don't worry about that. John Ryan, who's doing great work over at Sports Memo, go follow him. It's $9 Mondays. Trust me, guys, numbers don't lie. And John has more winning numbers than I think anybody in the business. Follow him today, follow him for a week, follow him for a month, and you'll follow him to the bank. Let's go over to Ronald Cabang, who, man, talk about winning numbers. Wow. Numbers don't lie, and Ronald Cabang certainly has the winning numbers, whether it's 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, no matter what the sport, on the hardwood, on the ice, and on the field. Ronald Cabang is a winner. He's got a big best bet for you tonight, but first he's going to tell you what he's got on the premium side. Ronald, take it away.
Yeah, I typically don't have my plays up until like around this time, but it should be up. I'll probably have 2 baseball plays and I'll be on Wager Talk today, tomorrow as well. It's talking about the WNBA, so that's one thing to look forward to as well. I think as far as my best bet, if I remember correctly, like my notes are all over the place too, John. I believe it's the first 5 under here. I think the Sonny Gray and McKenzie, I think they're just going to be able to bounce back off of these non-quality starts and how they've been doing all season long off of these previous matchup non-quality starts. That's the thing that's been leading me towards this play all day long, and there's a lot of support for it as well. So my best bet would be the Twins Guardians first 5 under 4.5. That's the way that I'll look on this one. That's pretty much it.
Ronald Cabang, a man of few words. Take the under in this game, first 5. Ronald, you are the best. You're doing some great work at Sports Memo. Guys, go follow Ronald. Now, Ronald, we have talked about it on the First Family Show and this show. Ronald sometimes gets a play up a little earlier, waits throughout the day to get some of his later plays up. So if you check Ronald's page early in the morning, be patient. Sometimes he waits a little bit later to get a big line movement edge, or sometimes when he's looking for something or an injury report. We discussed this on both shows throughout the last few weeks. Go over, follow Ronald. Now, guys, with my voice like this, you're not going to have to turn down the volume on your headset, on your tablet, on your PC. So I want to go into my best bet. But I want to tell you what I've been doing right now. I got everyone paying again yesterday on the Diamond. Another best bet winner. My best bet releases in baseball are on a 10-2 run, my friends. I am very excited tonight. I've isolated just one big winner for you. Another best bet. This is by far the best bet on the board. And because it's $9 Monday, guess what? $9. Go over to Sports Memo right after the show. Get this winner. As far as my free plays, guys, they just keep winning. And tonight I have a huge doggy for you to take a bite out of your bookmaker's butt. Sports fans, normally when a pitcher is making his first start midway through the season and just his second overall start, I'd look to fade him. But the fact that Connor Seabold is facing the Toronto Blue Jays changes all that for me. Very quietly, Boston Red Sox have crept into second place in the competitive AL East. They've won 7 straight, 19 of the last 24. They're doing it with a combination of solid hitting and stellar pitching. Their offense ranks in the top 10 in scoring, batting average, OPS, while their pitching staff, both starters and relievers, guys, ranked 6th overall in both leagues. During their current 7-game win streak, they've accounted for 5 or more runs 6 times, while their pitching staff has not allowed a single opponent to post more than 4 runs. Outstanding, Red Sox. On the other hand, the Toronto Blue Jays, guys, they're sinking further and further into the abyss. They've dropped 7 of their last 10. They sit 12.5 back in the division. Their lineup has been erratic at best, while their pitching has been downright deplorable. P.U. Speaking of pitching, Kevin Gausman, he gets the starts. Guys, while his ERA isn't so bad, it's 3.19, he hasn't had a win in his last 4 turns, and he's allowing a lot of hits and, more importantly, a lot of runs. Over his career, 5-8 versus Boston. The Red Sox are 4-1 the last 5 at the Blue Jays, 6-0 the last 6 versus right-handers, 16-5 the last 21 on the road. Guys, with the way these two teams are playing right now, even if Seabold gets pulled early, I feel between the Boston lineup and their outstanding bullpen, getting this price is an early Christmas gift, just like me losing my voice in June. Take Boston tonight. It's a winner. Let's bring back on John and Ronald, please. We have a couple of announcements before we get some closing thoughts from both John and Ronald. Guys, be sure to tune in every weekday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, to the show Full Count. My good friend John Ryan's going to be hosting a couple of times this week. I'm going to be hosting one more time. My good friend Chris, who does the scheduling over at SportsMemo, gave me off Friday. Guys, it's Joe D'Amico's 53rd birthday. I may look a lot younger than John and Ronald, but I'm a lot older than both of them, I'll tell you that. Guys, so I'm not going to be here Friday, but John's going to be taking over for me. I'll probably be over at Manny's Pub having a beer, an IPA with John, that's for sure. God knows where I'll be. I might be in a Tijuana lockup. You'll never know. Turning 53 is a milestone. They said I wouldn't make it past 21. So other than that, tune in every day. And also, please, guys, we need your help. Please let us reach the milestone of 5,000 subscribers. Hit subscribe. Let's go to John real quick for closing thoughts and comments. Then I'll tell you about a couple of discounts, and we're going to sign off. John, closing thoughts and comments for Monday.
Well, the only caution I will say to the viewers here is that Yankees game tonight against the Oakland A's is like minus 300, and if you're new to betting, you may think that that's free money, but it's the direct opposite over time. If you bet minus 300 favorites as a religion, you are not going to be very religious at the end of the day. So be careful with this game tonight because Oakland is playing better. They may be arguably the worst team in baseball, but they are major league quality players. And don't ever forget that in any sport, because a team may be winning 25% of their games in the NBA. That doesn't mean that those athletes are bad athletes or bad people. They can win on any given night, and we've seen some monumental upsets. So just be careful with that Yankees game tonight if you're thinking about betting it.
Sports fans, let's go over to Ronald Cabang for his closing thoughts and comments for our Monday show. Ronald, please.
Yeah, I agree with John on that one. I actually just did a show earlier and talked about the possible look towards the A's in that one, especially with Blackburn on the mound. You don't, especially with these money line type of sports here, like baseball and hockey and soccer. You really want to just focus in on the details of the game, not really the line, and just automatically think that a minus 300 is going to be an automatic W. So I definitely love that take that John just mentioned there. Other than that, really, just really excited to be back after that small hiatus. I'm still like maybe like 75% back. Like I feel a lot of, like I feel uncomfortable right now. I'm like in a lot of pain actually. So that's why I was kind of struggling through my words throughout the show. So hopefully the next couple of days I get closer to 100% and we'll see how it goes.
Ronald Cabang, you at 75% is like saying Steph Curry is only hitting half of his 3-pointers. You'll be fine. We're happy you're back. And you do more shows than a new adult film star trying to get into the industry. You are one of the hardest working guys outside of John Ryan, I know. John takes that award hands down. Guys, please, we want to hit that 5,000 milestone. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Other than that, it's never too early to talk about football. Never too early about saving you money, because saving you money is just as good as making you money. Go over to SportsMemo. Guys, we have the NFL, NCAA football combo discount. You get it for like $7.99. You see it across the bottom of your screen. Plus, you're getting a ton of wager bucks. Use code football100. If you want to dip your toe before you jump into the football waters, we got a great NFL preseason discount. Guys, it's about that time. Thanks for putting up with my voice today. I know I keep getting text messages from Jesse Schul saying how sexy I sound. Thanks, Jesse. I appreciate it. But I could do without the pictures of you in a Speedo. Love you, Jesse. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. Guys, by the way, just want to throw a special shout out to, real quick before we go, Jesse Schul. My wife has been ill. She's not on the First Family Show. He's going to be my temporary wife this week during the morning show. Jesse, I love you. Thanks for wearing the wig this morning. I love you, buddy. Secondly, our good buddy over at Wager Talk, Carmine Bianco, is having a birthday. God bless Carmine. Happy birthday. May all your wishes come true. And to all you out there, thank you for tuning in today. On behalf of Sports Memo, John and Ryan, this is Joe D'Amico. Good luck and have a winning day.